Hey friend, hey, welcome or welcome back to XOXO Sharena's YouTube channel. I am Sharena. This video is all about the lessons that we've learned from Miss Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. Let's get right into the video. With it being Women's History Month, I felt like it would be a really good idea to do a video on lessons that we've learned from Beyonce. Beyonce has been in the game for a very long time. I do believe Destiny's Child came out, she was about like 16. So she's been around for a while in the industry. She's learned a lot. And one thing I love is that success leaves clues. And Beyonce is always quoted in interviews or in her documentaries. And she always leaves like gems for us to learn from. With Beyonce having the album of the year, yes, Renaissance is definitely the album of the year. I personally don't care to tussle and fight about it. We all know what it is. So since Beyonce has the album of the year, I wanted to shed light on this queen. Who else would be better to do a lessons learned from than Miss Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. So let's jump right on into the first lesson. First things first is Beyonce tells her fears they are not allowed where she is headed. Now, she was quoted in an interview, and I'm just going to read it off my laptop down here. Creativity starts with taking a leap of faith. Telling your fears they are not allowed where you are headed. Beyonce said this reflecting on her decision to partner with Adidas. That personally is a great lesson, especially as a woman. A lot of times it seems as though like we have these ideas or we want to do these things, but then it seems like fear is typically right around the corner, making you not want to do, or just making you fearful, holding you back from doing the things that you know deep down in your heart you want to do. So I love the fact that she gives us this tip that fears they're not even welcome. They're not allowed. They shouldn't even be where you're headed. Leave them back there somewhere, and then go ahead and do the things that, and then continue on doing the things that your heart desires. Lesson 2 is keep your life and your goals private. I still remember when Beyonce was on the Oprah show, and Oprah told Beyonce, never tell anyone who you're dating. Well, Beyonce kind of took that and ran with it, because she didn't really even tell us that she got married. It just happened to come out in vlogs and because of paparazzi, but baby girl wasn't trying to tell us who she was dating, what she was doing. We was not invited to the wedding nor the reception, but we heard about it eventually after the fact. And being one that has graduated from the Beyonce Knowles Carter University, it is always best to keep your life and your goals private. You don't have to speak out loud and tell everybody what you got going on. You don't have to overshare and tell everybody what you got going on in your life. And I'm not just talking about on social media. I mean in your circle, your family. Like, everybody doesn't have to know every detail. They don't have to know everything that's going on. It's not mandatory. The thing I love about Beyonce is we know when she's willing to tell it. You know, when she's willing to allow and let certain things come out, that's when we know about certain things. Sometimes there are rumors in advance. For example, like the Renaissance tour, there was already rumors about it, but we didn't know for sure until it was okay for her team to release the information. It goes with a lot of other things that we see her do. Like, she really does a great job of keeping her life private, and I personally feel the same way. Like, I don't feel like everything needs to be on social media. People don't have to go through every step of my life with me. A lot of times I need to go through it first, and then I might do a video like this and tell you what I learned after the fact. But I don't necessarily have to show everything, every aspect of my life. Now, it's a little weird because on YouTube, especially when you're vlogging, you are showing a lot of things, but keep in mind, this is all curated content. So even your favorite vloggers aren't showing you every little thing. They're just showing you what they allow you to see. But there's a lot of things you don't see. And that's absolutely fine, because we need to keep some things private and to ourselves. Everything ain't for everybody. Now, number 3 is to stay humble and to keep progressing. Beyonce was quoted in, I do believe it was Homecoming documentary, saying that's why people don't like to rehearse. You got to be humble, you got to be willing to look awkward, and you got to study and be a student. For Beyonce to be the Beyonce, she still rehearses, she still keeps herself humble, and you always have to be a student. And that's not just, you know, something that one artist can give to another artist. Honestly, that's something that all of us can take in life, because a lot of times we feel like we know everything, we already been through this, I already done all this, I already know X, Y, and Z. But all should always be a student. To be honest, you should always be learning. There's always something you don't know. Even if you feel like you're an expert in a certain topic or a certain area, it's still something that you can learn. It's always something that you don't know. One way to position yourself so that you are always learning is to always be in a room where you're not the smartest one in it. If you have multiple people in a room and you are the smartest person in that room, maybe it's time for you to find another room. And we can even say it's time for you to find another circle. You can't always be the smartest person. There's always something to learn. We should always be a student, and you should always be open and willing to be a student of life. Number 4 is to focus on the walk, not the talk. That also goes along with what I said previously, that Beyonce is private. It's not a lot of talking of I'm going to do, I want to do, I'm about to do, I'm planning to do, next year I'm doing. We honestly don't know about a lot of things of whatever Beyonce is doing until it's already done or pretty much like created. Yeah, like the paperwork is done, it's completed, it's filed, it's been sitting there for a minute. We learn a lot of things about what she does well after the fact. We are not at the beginning of the planning process. We are always somewhere well towards the end, if not the completion of whatever it is she's doing. And I honestly love that. I just love the way that her and her team, because she does have a company, it's not just her, y'all. I love that how her and her team have always over the years kept everything private, and then we learned after the fact. For example, the whole infamous Secret album that dropped at midnight, like nobody knew an album was coming. I honestly just love how she keeps everything a secret, and I think that you should just continue doing that. The more times that you talk about things, it kind of like hinders you from taking the next step to do what it is you want to do, because you're constantly talking about it. Like you're wearing whatever excitement you had, you're wearing it out by talking about it. So it's always best to just focus on whatever it is you're trying to do it, and then talk about it after the fact, girl. And lastly is Beyonce has always been a person of grace. A lesson I personally feel like I always have learned is that she's very graceful and she's very focused. And the best quote I got for y'all is from the song Formation, when she says, "Always be gracious, best revenge is your paper." I honestly feel like that line of that song with that quote is pretty much a testament of who Beyonce is. She's very gracious, she's very kind, she's very polite. You do see her out, even when you see her out with other celebrities, she's very cordial. One thing you don't see a lot of is Beyonce getting her lick back. So if you're a gracious individual, then honestly getting your lick back isn't like, it's not the number one thing on your list. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to do or to hear, because when someone did something to you, you want to quickly turn and do something to them. But to be focused and to just continue on the path of whatever it is that you're doing, and to grow and to stay in your bag, that is the revenge. You don't need to do nothing else. Continue being great. That's it. Now, I do understand there has been sometimes really hear the things Beyonce says, but she might just switch up what she does, and she switched up what she does because it's a response of something else that has happened. And I understand that, because at the end of the day, that's just business. Business is business. It is what it is. It's not personal. It's not personal, but I really love how graceful, how gracious of an individual she is. And I think that that's probably like the biggest lesson from Beyonce is how graceful she is, how humble she is, how polite she always comes off. When you do see videos, I don't see any videos of fans saying like, I've seen videos of other celebrities, especially on the Clock app, aka TikTok. But Beyonce, the stories of Beyonce are always very sweet, very gracious. She's very polite. She's very humble. The girl was raised right. And that's how I look at it. I love me some Beyonce. I love me some Tina Knowles. And I really feel like the Knowles family raised their children right. And because of that, we have the Beyonce that we have today. Now that concludes my video of the lessons learned from Beyonce. Y'all leave me a comment below. What did I miss? I know that there's so many more things. I honestly could probably do a part 2 and a part 3 of this, but y'all leave me some comments below and let me know what are some lessons that y'all learned about Beyonce over the years. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, please. If you haven't already, friend, go ahead and click that subscribe button. That's all from me, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.